To answer the question, absolutely, I would support Senator Nozzolio's proposal. As a member of the Federalist Society, federalism is something certainly that's been near and dear to my heart as an attorney, as someone who's had an interest in government. But I think it's important to remember this hasn't been just a one-way street. Historically, if you go back, the encroachment on federalism, the assault on federalism has started at the national level with the New Deal. But let's remember that legislators across the country, including right here in Albany and New York State, have been equally complicit in allowing this encroachment of federal authority on New York State. And the reason for that is, again, there's a lack of leadership and there's a lack of courage in Albany among the political class over there to stand up and say no to the federal government. They're more than happy to take those federal government dollars. But with dollars, of course, come strings attached. That's why New York State is on the path of becoming no different than Rhode Island, Vermont, Connecticut, California, you name it. We're losing our sovereignty right now, and it's the fault not only of Washington, but of the Albany legislators as well. We need to reassert our sovereignty and our way of life here in New York State. We need a leader, and I will be one, who will have the courage to stand up to these mandates and say, quite honestly, no. We know what's best for our state. We don't need to accept these requirements for the federal government in return for these federal tax dollars. There's a word for what that is, and I would call it bribery.
Yeah.
On behalf of Washington, absolutely. Furthermore, I think it's crazy that we actually have a discussion as to whether or not Obamacare is constitutional. I think clearly it's not. And I'm disappointed, very disappointed, that Attorney General Andrew Cuomo has decided not to join the lawsuit against Obamacare. It's very disappointing to me. I'll leave you with one last point. The federal government derives its authority from the consent of the governed and from the individual states. That power does not come from the federal government down to us. It comes from us to the federal government, and we need to reassert that authority starting immediately.
Right.